All right, Wayne Allen Root with Bill O'Reilly, #1 in cable news for 16 years in a row, and we are so tickled pink we got him right here on the Wayne Allen Root Show. Hey, Bill, welcome back.
Thanks, Wayne. Thanks for having me.
So before I get to my usual three questions, I gotta tell you about a little personal story here. So I posted this statement at Facebook yesterday. I want you to hear the statement. We're living, and this statement was in response to the fact that Mexico vows legal action against the United States because 3 of their citizens were tragically killed in the El Paso mass shooting. And that is tragic and that is terrible. But here was my response to that. They're going to sue us because 3 of their people were killed. I said, we're living in the theater of the absurd. Illegal aliens, many of them from Mexico, kill thousands of Americans a year on our soil. And their drug cartels traffic drugs that kill tens of thousands of Americans. But Mexico is outraged because 3 of their people died in the USA. Oh my gosh. That's what I put. Tried to post something moments ago, right before our interview, and Facebook says I violated their community standards. I am suspended for 7 days. And they showed me the post, and it's the one I just read you. Now, it's a fact. I went and looked it up moments ago, actually, as I was waiting for our interview. The U.S. government claims 4,380 people a year are murdered by illegal aliens. We know tens of thousands are killed by drugs brought into the country through Mexico. I stated 2 facts, and they suspended me, and I guess they're claiming that's hate speech. Facts are now hate speech. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can believe it. The President of the United States is concerned about it, and I think Congress is going to have to take a hard look at these giant media companies that control the flow of information to Americans. And I don't want a federalization of the media, but I think what happened to you and others has got to be investigated. Now, that comes under the purview of the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission. And I think that basically what has to happen now is that there have to be federal guidelines, as there are for the broadcasters, CBS, NBC, ABC, that Facebook and others are going to have to follow. So what happened to you is short-term pain, but it might be good for the nation, Wayne, in the long run, if people start to say, yeah, you know, we got to have some kind of standards where people can express themselves in a fact-based way and not be censored. So I think that will happen. It'll be interesting to see how fast it ramps up.
I know, but they talk about Russian collusion. This is a fact. There is Silicon Valley collusion and conspiracy to try and take down conservatives, Republicans, and Donald Trump. No question in my mind. I see it now in my own life. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. Should Trump back restrictions on semi-automatic weapons? That's part 1. Part 2, I would say, should he back any sort of gun registration? And part 3, should he back red flag laws? I think those 3 are all kind of on the table or not. And I want to hear what you think about all 3. I'm very interested.
Well, I think Trump is open to some measures that make it more difficult for maniacs to get high-powered weaponry. So you'd have to see how the laws are written. I am a person who believes that Americans need to protect themselves with firearms. All right, I think the Second Amendment is there for that purpose, and I don't want to see it tampered with. However, public safety dictates that hand grenades and bazookas and flamethrowers, on and on, cannot be owned by individuals. As far as AKs and heavy-duty rifles, I think they're going to have to write it specifically, they being Congress, and we'll all take a look at it. And I think we can come to a reasonable way to make it more difficult for high-powered weaponry to be put in the hands of maniacs. That's the goal.
I don't think you're going to get a ban of high-powered weapons, but I think you'll get some sort of limited registration and background check if you want to buy a high-powered weapon.
I think that's probably
right. I don't really have a big
right.
problem with that one.
Yeah, I think you're right there. I think that the law will be written that if you do get a weapon that is capable of firing 50 or 60 shots a minute, that the government's going to have to know you have it. I think that's probably where it's going.
All right. Of all the Democrats you've seen in the first couple of debates, is there any candidate that you would even consider voting for?
Yeah, Biden I would consider voting for. I'm not going to vote for a socialist. I wrote my column on BillO'Reilly.com this week on Warren and Sanders. And I said, look, if these people ever get power at the White House level, and they won't, but if they ever did, there'd be a depression in this country. The economy would totally collapse, and that would lead to violence in the streets. That's what would happen. So how can anybody support that? Them. I don't know. Biden is an old-time Paul. He's not a real militant guy. He's kind of a go-along guy. So, he, of all of them, is the most reasonable. Now, he's running to the left because he has to. The press wants him to. When he gets the nomination, I predict he will, he'll come back to the middle. So Biden is a guy I would look at. Buttigieg, if he ever gets any traction, which he won't this time, but after he goes on to CNN, and that's where I predict he'll wind up, for 4 years, maybe he comes back. I'd listen to Buttigieg. He's fairly articulate. The rest of them are kind of kooky, and I don't trust them.
All right. Bill O'Reilly. You can find all of his wisdom and insights at BillO'Reilly.com, and it's great to have him on the show. Thank you, Bill. I'll see you next
Wayne.
week.
See you soon.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for breaking news and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, then share it with your friends. Remember, you can watch Newsmax TV live on YouTube. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.